This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author Christy Wright is my co-host today as we talk to you about your life and your money. Her new book, soon to be a #1 bestseller, is called Take Back Your Time, The Guilt-Free Guide to Life Balance, and it is available on pre-sale now. It will come out September the 14th, and she and I will be doing a live stream event on September the 16th on the same subject. So if you want to talk about life balance, you want to talk about money, you want to talk about anything, we are here for you. The phone number again, 888-825-5225. Lavelle starts us off in Raleigh, North Carolina. Hi, Lavelle. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
I had a question for my car that I purchased, and I wanted to didn't know if I should sell it or if I should just keep going. Just keep going with it until it's paid off.
Mm-hmm. When did you purchase it?
So I purchased it probably about 4 to 5 months ago.
Okay. And what do you owe on it?
I owe $18,000.
What's your household income?
45,000.
Are you married?
No, I'm not single.
Okay. Is that your only vehicle?
Yes, sir, it is.
How much other debt do you have other than your house?
I have about $7,000 left in student loan debt and $1,000 left at the at my credit union for a personal loan.
Okay. Well, Christy, here's the principle that we always use on this, okay? A car, Lavelle, is the largest thing we all buy that goes down in value. Another way of saying that, it is the largest wealth destructor in our lives. It destroys more of our wealth than anything else. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Because it's the most expensive thing we buy that goes down in value. I mean, if you buy a $1,000 TV and 4 years later throw it in the backyard, no big deal. It didn't change your life. But when you take a $25,000 car or a $20,000 car and turn it into a $6,000 car, which is what they always do, right? Then you have destroyed a lot of wealth, dollars-wise. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
And yet we all love cars. I got cars. I'm a car guy. I want you to have I don't want everybody to drive a junker the rest of their lives. But you need to understand that ratio-wise, the more crap you own that goes down in value, the harder it's going to be to become wealthy. So, based on that idea, the principle that we developed, or the concepts that we developed, are two. Number one, can you be 100% debt-free, not counting your house, inside of 2 years and keep the car? This is assuming you love the car and are willing to fight, scratch, and claw to keep the stupid thing.
Do you, Lavelle? Do you love it?
I actually don't. I actually have a buyer for it that wants to buy it next week. I've put it on the Auto Trader. And
why did you put it on Auto Trader?
Because I wanted to get out of debt and maybe get a cheaper car. Maybe pay cash for a car and go through my credit union and possibly get the loan to pay off the difference, and maybe get a little extra to $2,000 or $3,000 extra to pay the car off.
Okay, good.
I mean, to get a cash car.
Yeah, get you a cash car. Okay, that's a plan. Go do that. I think you got a great plan. I don't want to stop you from doing your plan. It's a plan that I probably would do if I woke up in your shoes. Let me finish giving you the principles for the rest of our listeners' sake, and because you might apply them at some other point. Okay? Number one, we have to be debt-free inside of 2 years, or the car has to go. You could pull that off. It'd be a lot of hard work, but you could pull that off. You got $26,000 in debt, you make $40,000, you could work an extra job, live on beans and rice and beans, and be debt-free in 2 years. It could be done. Okay? But you're not going to, I understand. But I'm just saying, mathematically, that's doable. The second thing is all the things that you own with wheels and motors, because everything with wheels and motors goes down in value. And again, I've got a lot of stuff with wheels and motors. I'm not against having it. I'm just against it having you. I'm against you being owned by this crap. They all go down in value. And when you add them all up, do they equal more than half your annual income? If they do, you have too much juice tied up in things that are destroying your wealth instead of building your wealth. And so, people call me up, I'm making $75,000 a year, I got a $50,000 truck. Well, you might be a redneck if. That's just stupid.
And
right
that
there.
Principle applies whether it's paid for, even if it's paid for. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to clarify that.
Because you
even
got
if you own them.
You see, Lavelle, you got things, a $50,000 truck's going to be worth 25 is about 20 seconds. About 20 seconds. I mean, it doesn't take long at all.
No one thinks about that, about the fact that the car, I like how you just said that. Cars are the most expensive things we buy that go down in value. I mean, like when you say it, you're like, yeah, that makes sense. But no one looks at cars that way. They look at it like, hey, I got a raise. Let me go get a bigger car. They don't look at it as this thing that is 2 steps forward, 3 steps back when it comes to building wealth. And I think that's important. I like that you pointed that out.
Yeah, when you put $50,000 in the middle of the table and over a series of 4 years, you burn most of it with a match.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah. And just for the
unless you make $150,000, then you can survive that, but it's still a problem. I mean, I own cars that are expensive today.
Yeah. But just for the used cars, just for the new car smell that lasts about a month, go get you some air freshener, right? Losing that amount of money for a new car for that very short-term feeling. When it dropped, it drops so quickly in value. And
Tom Stanley discovered this. The first time I read it was in 1992. He wrote the book, The Millionaire Next Door. Mm-hmm. And one of the things he discovered in his research of millionaires, which we have done our own research these days, and it was the first time I ever heard it, was the typical millionaire drives a 2-year-old or older car. Because I had this thing that rich people all drive nice cars. Mm-hmm. And the truth is that a certain level of rich does.
Right.
But until you've got $1 million in net worth, buying a brand new car is mathematically stupid.
Yeah.
Now, you can do it and get away with it.
Yeah.
But it's just stupid.
Well, even after you have $1 million net worth, you still look at cars differently because the principles that got you to that net worth are the principles you want to maintain. Not to your point, not that you can't get a new car, but you're going, hey, I could get one that's 2 years old. It's depreciated 50% of its value, and I'm going to maintain the value longer.
Yeah, like I said, I got several vehicles with boats and Sea-Doos and side by side on the farm, and I collect. I'm like a grown up boy. I collect things that go buddin'. I mean, and so, but when I'm constantly running that factor and going, all of these things added together need to be a very small percentage of my world because they're all just sitting here rusting down to nothing money-wise. Meanwhile, I could have taken that same money and put it in something that goes up in value, which would give me more to give and more to do with.
Yeah.
Christy Wright, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. This is The Ramsey Show.
Life is full of firsts. As the first and longest-serving Christian health cost-sharing ministry, CHM has shared medical expenses for its members since 1981. We believe you should have the freedom to focus on your health while being supported by a community of believers, giving you the opportunity to create many more firsts.
Chrissy Wright, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Most people make choices based on feelings or opinions, especially when they're buying a house. But when it comes to a real estate market, feelings are not your friends. Facts are your friends. You got to get people in your corner to help you with the facts, because it gets really emotional when you're selling a home, buying a home. And when you're doing it in some of these markets right now that are absolutely white hot, it's crazy out there. It is not amateur hour. You don't want to get somebody in your corner that sold 2 houses and you're their third transaction. Good Lord. This is your most expensive asset. Get a pro in your corner. We vet our Ramsey trusted, endorsed local providers to be some of the top agents, high octane, high protein in your area. You can find the ones that we recommend, and RamseySolutions.com/agent. RamseySolutions.com/agent. Jonathan is with us in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Hi, Jonathan. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave.
Hey, what's up?
Unfortunately, my uncle passed away earlier this week.
Oh, my.
Sorry, I'm a little nervous here.
That's okay. Sorry to hear that. Were you close?
Yeah, I was. He was like a dad to me.
Oh, man.
Going through his paperwork and his will, it looks like he left me quite a bit in his estate. Total amount looks like it's probably going to be over $500,000. I'm not exactly sure what to do with it.
In cash or in what?
Real estate, a home that's worth about $400,000 that he owned outright, and then the rest is, I haven't figured out exactly how much it is, but it's at least $100,000 in checking account, a pension, and another retirement account.
What do you make a year?
About 65.
How old are you?
33.
Okay. You ever handled anything like an estate before?
I have with my mom, but it was valued at probably about $100,000, so it was obviously a lot less than this.
Okay. So are you, you found the will then?
Yes.
Okay. So you've been appointed the executor of the estate?
Correct.
And you are the only heir?
Correct.
Okay. So my advice first would be to contact a good estate probate attorney to probate the will and get you put in charge of each of these accounts as soon as possible by the court. Okay,
and we actually did start the process on that, but we still have to wait for the death certificate, unfortunately.
Yeah, it takes a little time, but I'm glad to know you're already doing that. Good. Okay. And, the emotion is real. And obviously, you guys were close. He was like a dad to you, and he was obviously loved you a lot. He left you everything. And so what do you do with $500,000 when it's set in the middle of your kitchen table all of a sudden in $100 bills? What do you do with that? Well, obviously, we want to be wise with it. Overall, there's 3 things you can do with money. You can give it, you can enjoy it, and you can invest it. And those are the 3 things you can do. And you really probably should do all 3 of those things with this money. Now, we teach a thing called the baby steps. And so my son is about your age. If he inherited that all of a sudden, I would advise him, and he would already know because he's my son, to walk right up the baby steps with that money. And, where would that take you? Are you aware of all of that?
Yeah, so I actually have no debt other than my house.
Which you owe how much on?
$159. So I was planning on writing a check for that pretty soon after everything's closed.
Okay. Then that puts you at what we call baby step 7, where there's nothing left to do but build wealth and be generous. You remember that? Does that sound familiar to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Jonathan, that's an incredible place to be, but I know it doesn't feel like it right now.
Yeah.
I know you're hurting. I think it's awesome that you're calling and you're getting wise counsel on what to do with this large amount of money. You're already taking the right steps. You've already handled this before. It may have been a different amount of money, but you've gone through this. And so I want you to lean on those skills and let that give you a sense of peace and confidence as you walk this out again. And then know, as you do, yeah, you're in a really good position financially to do anything you want to. You're young to have this. What a gift that your uncle left you at your young age. You'll never have debt again, ever. I mean, that's an incredible gift and legacy that he gave you. And I know you're hurting right now, and it's hard to even feel that. And that's okay, too. That's okay.
So one of the things I try to do that I have done gradually, I never got in the early days anyway, I never got a $500,000 check at one time come into my life. But what I did gradually is I increased my knowledge by putting experts in my corner to teach me. And that's kind of where we came up with the saying with endorsed local providers or with SmartVestor Pros. When you're meeting with people in the money space, you need someone with the heart of a teacher, not someone to boss you around. And because I hate it when people say, well, I couldn't buy a car. My advisor told me I couldn't. And I'm like, well, it's not your advisor's money, you doob. It's your money. You tell your advisor what to do. They just give you advice. And so that's just a cop-out, meaning I don't have enough. So I want you to have enough backbone to make your own decisions as opposed to that person I just outlined. But I want you to put some advisors, some teachers in your corner. And so, you do need to meet with a SmartVestor Pro and learn about some investing options.
What are your thoughts on the house?
It probably not going to keep it. If you want to keep it as a rental, you can. I think it's going to be troublesome. I don't know if you're going to have the money with everything you've outlined to completely pay your house off if you keep it. Number two, when you rent out your uncle's house and a renter doesn't take care of it one time, that's going to be very, very, very emotional. People don't realize that. Like when you move out of a house that you lived in and then you rent it out, renters are, even the best people in the world, including when I was a renter, it's not your house. And it's just a weird feeling to go back in there and go, oh, look what they did to my little boy's bedroom. It just does that to you. You can't keep yourself from doing that. So I doubt you're going to keep it. If you want to fight to keep it, that's fine as a rental. I wouldn't keep it and it's sitting there empty as a museum to your uncle. I think that's a bad idea. But so you need a good insurance person in your corner that's an independent insurance broker that can help you with all the different kinds of insurance you need in your life. You need a good investing professional in your corner that, like a SmartVestor Pro that has the heart of a teacher and will lead you in each of those areas. You need a good tax person, a CPA. In this case, you've already engaged a lawyer to help you with the process. So all of these different experts in these different areas are to teach you something about that area so that you can make good decisions. They're not there to boss you around. They actually work for you. You're paying them. And so they need to keep that in mind. I've had to fire a couple people in the professions over the years that decided their job was to tell me what to do with my life. Instead, their job is to teach me, and then I get to decide what I'm going to do based on that knowledge with my life.
They must not have known you very well.
Well, I mean,
I just known that would not fly with you.
No, that's probably true. But I mean, I remember, well, it doesn't matter. But an attorney one time that was just telling us that this is the way this has to be, and I said, no, it doesn't have to be that way. I'm not doing it. And he goes, well, and he just the arrogance of it. And finally, I just said, look, I think we're done. What do you mean we're done? I said, I think you're fired. Because I'm not here for you to tell me what to do. I'm here for you to teach me and convince me that this is the wisest. And in the multitude of counsel, there is safety. And that's what you want. You want a group of counsel in your life that'll walk with you through this, Jonathan, and teach you. And that'll help you keep from making unwise decisions. And of course, the overall arching rule is don't take financial advice from broke people, including your broke friends, and they all have a lot of opinions right now. This is The Ramsey Show. Christy Wright, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Matthew and Alicia are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Doing good, Dave.
Good.
How are you?
Better than I deserve. Welcome. Good to have you. Where do you guys live?
We live in Washburn, just a little bit above Knoxville here in Tennessee.
Okay.
Awesome.
Welcome to Nashville. Good to have you. And all the way here to do a debt-free scream?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Love it. How much have you guys paid off?
We have paid off $54,266 in 14 months.
I love it. Good for you. And your
Awesome.
range of income during that 14 months?
60,000.
Okay. What do you guys do for a living?
I'm a psych nurse part-time and a full-time mama.
Okay.
And I am a 4-H extension agent for the University of Tennessee.
Awesome.
Cool.
Very, very cool. I love it. Very fun. Well, welcome to Nashville and congratulations. What kind of debt was the $54,000?
We had a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
We had a farm loan, a student loan, truck loan, credit cards,
Furniture.
cell phone. We can keep going if you want us to.
You guys were normal. You had everything.
Very
Never
normal
met a
day.
debt you didn't like.
A wide variety.
Yeah.
Had a pretty famous saying, you can't have anything without having debt.
All right.
I might have been wrong.
And went out.
I might have been wrong.
Ouch. Ouch. That took a real man to stand up on that stage and say that. I'm just saying, brother, that was good.
It hurt.
I might have been wrong. Oh, that's a hard one. Yeah. Good for you.
Well, what
done.
happened? What's the story for 14 months ago?
We'd better back up just a little farther.
All right.
About 6.5 years ago, right before me and Alicia got married, my father-in-law, or soon-to-be father-in-law, he offered to put us through Financial Peace University. And I was a pretty good commercial for Huggies, and I decided I was a big kid now. And I said, I can manage my own money. I don't need anyone to tell me what to do. So we tried that. Of course, I shared with you how that worked out. But about 3 years ago, right before Madeline, our youngest, was born, we got to a point that money was getting pretty tight. Alicia was getting ready to go on a maternity leave, and she got to the point that she was hiding money because she knew if it was just sort of left out and around in the bank account, I would spend it. And so that got her attention a little bit, and she started paying off a few loans on her own. She said, I want to do this. I said, well, okay, you go ahead. Do what you want to. I said, I'm not going to stop you. But then just after that, one of my 4-H volunteers that we work with, she come to me and said, I want to use one of your buildings that you all rent out. I said, okay. I said, what are you using it for? And she said, Financial Peace University. I said, hey, my wife would love to do that.
She needs
As
it
a matter
real
of fact,
bad.
as a matter of fact, her father said we should do that.
So from there, we sort of got in line to do that, and then just after that, she come back in the office and brought me the Total Money Makeover book, and her husband had wrote a note in there telling us to sit down and read the book and to start with the last chapter. And so I did that over a bowl of Cheerios. And Dave, I had a meltdown. It's true that grown men do cry. And I realized the shape that I put our family in and the opportunity lost. And I said, we've got to do something. And that was in January of 2019 or 2020.
Oh, just in time for COVID.
Just in time for COVID.
Yeah.
And so we got our emergency fund then, got our starter emergency fund, and then started in on the debt snowball come February. And 14 months later, we're done.
Wow. That's impressive.
Yes.
So lots of opportunity before you, very little behind you that was lost. You're okay.
Yeah.
You got plenty of time. You guys are heroes. You took control of your lives.
That's right.
That's pretty
Thank you.
impressive.
And
I'm
you're
so
young.
impressed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So how old are you two?
I'm 27.
And I'll be 33 in just a little while.
All right. Very good. Well, congratulations, you guys. Very proud of you two.
Thank
Very
you.
proud
Thank
of
you,
you.
sir.
So I'm guessing, Alicia, your dad is grinning.
Yeah, I'm sure he's
He's like,
listening.
he came around.
I'm guessing he's going, took a little while, but it got there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Little I told you so along the way.
That's fine. Yeah, you probably earned it. That's okay.
That's okay.
That's okay. And you're the kind of guy I can take it. You're all
Yeah,
right. You're
be all right.
You're a stand-up dude. Well done. Well done. There's something powerful about realizing that I've got a huge potential in my future and I've messed up, and how quickly you turned on that, Matthew. That's powerful the way you told that story.
Yeah.
There's a little story behind that, Dave. I lost my dad 3 years ago to pancreatic cancer, and he said something. Of course, dads always say stuff that are pretty unforgettable. Sometimes it's taken the hard way. But he shared something in a hospital bed on how to beat this thing being cancer. And my stepmother at the time, she said, "How's that? Be really strong and fight hard." He said, "No." He said, "Be weak. Just be weak and let God work." And I had a lot of pride, and I had to put my pride aside now and let a little weakness in, so that God could work. And that's how we done it.
So I'm guessing that the last 14 months have been pretty impactful on your marriage as well.
Oh, yeah.
Turned it completely around.
Yeah. That's so powerful what you just said, though, Matthew, because there are people, lots of people,
yeah, like there's single girls out there going, "Has this guy got a brother?"
Sorry, I don't.
Listen, there are a lot of people that do not have the courage to realize what you realized and even say what you said. I was wrong.
Yeah.
They'd rather stick to their guns, defend their mess, keep sticking to their motto of you can't have anything without debt, and making excuses the rest of their life.
Yeah.
And the fact that you had the courage to go, I was wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do something different. You're now so young and completely debt-free, and you have the rest of your lives to build wealth and do anything you want to. That's incredible. And it came down to that moment and you having the courage to do that. Well done.
What do you guys tell people the trick to getting out of debt is?
A lot of communication, good communication, and trust in your spouse.
Amen.
Budget's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Knowing where that money's going is a pretty big deal. And of course, we done Financial Peace University with our church. We facilitated that.
Oh,
and
thank you.
Well, it was our honor. It was a pleasure to get to do that. But one thing we shared with them, going into it, it's not a money thing. It's a God thing. You let Him control you, and He'll take care of the rest of it.
That's
how
It'll fall in order.
It's good.
Very cool. And you brought the kiddos with you. What are their names and ages? Let's get them in the shot.
We have Addison, she's 5, and Madeline, that's 2.
All right.
Awesome.
How fun.
Oh, they're so cute.
What a great trip. What a great trip. Very cool. Well, we've got a copy of Legacy Journey for you. That's definitely the next chapter in your story. You have changed your family tree
All right.
in so many, many ways. I'm so proud of y'all.
Yes.
Thank
What a
you.
neat couple. And, of course, also a copy of the Total Money Makeover, and you can write in the front of it and give it away to somebody and get them going as well. That'll be great. Pay it forward. Very cool stuff. Again, very, very proud of you guys. Very, very
Thank
well
you.
done.
Yes.
Thank you.
Matthew, Alicia, Addison, and Madeline just took off. North of Knoxville, over in East Tennessee, where I'm from. $54,000 paid off in 14 months, making $60,000 a year. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt-free!
Yeah, you do this. I saw a signed bumper sticker this weekend that I hadn't seen before. God says U-turns are legal.
I like it.
So, yeah, when you're going the wrong way and you go and you turn and you go back the other way. In Christianity, we call that repentance.
Yeah.
But everybody else just calls it a U-turn.
Yep. Whatever you call it. Sometimes we need it.
So, I mean, Matthew, he slammed on the brakes.
I love it.
Did a slide into a donut and did a U-turn.
I love it.
Powerful. Powerful. right, Ramsey Personality is my co-host today. Welcome to the Ramsey Show. Common sense for your dollars and cents as we talk about your life and your money. Elisa is with us in Atlanta. Hi, Elisa. How are you?
Hi, Dave. Hi, Christy. I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Great. How can we help?
So my husband and I have been following your plan for a while, but we, in the last year or two here, have become self-employed, and we've really had like an income problem trying to keep cash flow going. So even making progress on paying off our debt has been difficult. We're in a situation right now where we've had some medical bills come up that have increased our debt. We also didn't, because of the cash flow issues, didn't have enough saved up for taxes for 2020. So we, set up a payment plan with the IRS and all that, want to get that out of the way. But we're also trying to make sure we save up taxes for the coming year properly. And I know that you say, like, baby step 0 is basically, like, getting current on all your bills and not going into any more debt and that sort of thing. So I've been just a little confused on what order I should be attacking these things in, because these medical bills are technically current, but we also don't have the money to pay them right now. We had, like, a couple of emergency room visits.
What's going on with your business? What do you both do, and what do you make?
My husband has a video production business. Right now he's primarily doing some video editing freelance work as that, and then I have a proofreading freelance.
You have a what freelance?
Proofreading.
Proofreading.
Okay.
And what do y'all make combined?
Last year, our income on our taxes was oh crud! I just forgot. I think it was about $32,000. Or probably less than that.
Yeah.
What did you do before that? Sorry.
How many kids do you
sorry?
have? How many kids do you have?
It's just the two of us.
Okay.
What did you do before this? You said we recently became self-employed. What did y'all used to do? And what's the story there?
So last year, actually in the middle of the pandemic, my husband launched his video production business, and that was a good move because before that he was working a pretty low-paying server job. I was full-time employed as a proofreader, and then I've done like some Uber Eats driving and stuff since then, and one other W-2 job for a few months this year, but that ended up not working out.
Yeah, you know what? I'm calling
it's been
BS.
a little bit back and forth.
I'm calling BS. Your husband made more as a server than he did in the video business. It was not a good. It was not a good. It was not a good thing. It was a good thing in that servers disappeared during COVID, but in terms of he launched into, he didn't exactly go make a fortune. You guys are living I think your 32,000's wrong. All you've told me in the first 5 minutes you've been on the air is how, like 6 different times, is how you guys have absolutely no money. I think you're living below the poverty level, and y'all are running around calling this a successful business. It's not. It's failed. You need to get jobs.
I don't know. Here's what I'm confused about, Elisa, is what you just told me in terms of your, y'all went through the debts and getting your bills current and all that. What I hear, though, is you sound okay with the amount of money you all make, and you don't make enough money. Why are y'all not out there getting second and third jobs and getting your income up?
Well, actually, no. Like, we're aware that we're struggling and we need more money. I've been working.
I think you are. What I can't figure out is what he's doing.
And getting the.
Okay.
I will say that the numbers have been going up the last few months significantly. Where we're looking at him bringing home like $2,000 at least this month, which is a significant increase, and it's been trajectorying upward.
Are y'all charging enough?
Say that again.
Are each of you charging enough? Is it a lack of not the right pricing, or do you not have enough clients, or both? Do you know what the source of the revenue problem is?
The primary problem has been lack of clients. What the clients he has right now are definitely paying appropriate amounts for the video editing work he's doing.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not working much.
He has been the last couple months. We had a lot of issues for like the first 6 months this year.
Yeah, but like, I mean, $2,000 video editing in a month. He's not working much.
Well, and my other thing though, Elisa, like, okay, so to Dave's point about like what we're both saying about this income issue is like starting a video production business, you can do video editing almost anytime you want. You can serve at a restaurant lots of different options of shifts and hours. I don't know why he's not doing both. Video editing on the side, working as many hours as he can as a server. He could double his income right there if he had kept the server job.
Yeah, I agree. So here's what I'm hearing, and you can correct me.
I see what you're saying.
You can go do whatever you want to do, Lisa. But here's what I'm hearing. Okay, he launched a video business, and he loves to do the video work. And he's good at the video work itself. He is not good at marketing and getting new clients, and he's not good at running a business because he's starving to death, and you're starving to death with him. Meanwhile, you're over here trying to plug up the 42 holes in this boat with only 2 fingers, and you're working like 3 different jobs while he's working one that's not working out. So if I were to come into your all's lives, what I would tell him to do today, he needs to do one of 2 things. He either needs to go get a job in the video business and make 4 times what he's making now working for somebody else that knows how to go get clients and then bills him out as an editor or as a producer or as behind the camera or whatever he's good at. Or until he gets, or if he's going to keep doing this, he needs to get 3 side jobs in addition to this, and I want him working 80 hours a week starting now with Uber, with delivering pizzas, with working at the restaurant serving, so that he can keep his video business alive, so his family can stay alive while he runs his video business and learns how to be a marketer and learns his business acumen to run his business, because he's killing you. He's killing you, sitting on his butt. Listen, the way these ducks land on your plate cooked is you have to go leave your house and shoot them. And then you have to pluck them, and then you cook them. But they don't fly in the door and land on the plate in business. You have to go get them, and he hasn't developed that skill yet. He's not a bad guy. He's an artist, and he's probably very good at his craft, and he's probably not lazy. He's just not got a good game plan right now. He's got to go duck hunting. Meanwhile, he needs to go make some freaking money.
And this is why we tell you all this all the time, not just you, Elisa. I mean, every one of you listening, that's why we tell you, start your new business idea on the side. Build it up in addition to your full-time income, because nothing will kill your dream like not having any money and getting to a place of desperation. It takes the joy right out of it. Elisa, if you will stay on the line, I'm going to have Kelly give you a live stream ticket to our Business Boutique Conference. You and your husband can watch it together. The business principles apply regardless. It will give him and you tons of tactical steps of what to do to market your individual businesses and your services in order to get more clients and make more money. Stay on the line. Kelly can give you that, and that will give you guys something to get started in this direction, in addition to everything else we're telling you to do. But stay on the line.
But listen, my wife has never been a wife in 39 years that wasn't supportive, Elisa. But she also, her method of supporting sometimes was to tell me the truth. And you're participating in delusion with him, the language you're using, the way you're taking up for this failed business endeavor.
It's a hobby.
You're starving to death. He is not a success yet. Can he be? Yes, but not doing what he's been doing for the last year and a half. And $2,000, you can make that in 2 weeks delivering pizza. So we're not successful yet. Don't participate in that. So love him enough to walk with him, encourage him. I think he can be a big deal, but he ain't yet. He's not even a little deal yet. This is The Ramsey Show.
This is James Childs, producer of The Ramsey Show. Did you know The Ramsey Show is one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Subscribe or follow today wherever you listen to podcasts.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Thank you for joining us. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Christy Wright, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, and author of the newly released, on sale as a pre-sale anyway, new book called Take Back Your Time, the Guilt-Free Guide to Life Balance. So we'll be talking about your life and your money this hour. It's a free call, 888-825-5225, and some say the advice is worth exactly what you pay for it. All right, Nick is with us. Nick is in Colorado Springs. Hey, Nick, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Hey, I had a question about whether I should finish my debt snowball paying off my student loans or if I should refinance at this time since the rates are so low. I owe about $10,000 on my student loans, and my rate right now is 3.8, and I could buy it down to a 15-year mortgage for 1.75.
Your rate currently on your mortgage is how much?
3.18, 3.125.
Okay, and you said you were quoted what?
1.75 on a 15-year.
Fixed rate?
Fixed rate.
Bunch of points. How many points?
Right now they've gone down a lot. It's 0.875. So a little under 1%.
Sounds low. Okay. I'm a little suspicious. I don't think mortgage rates are below 1% or below 2% yet. Unless I missed something over the weekend, which is possible, but I don't think I did. Okay, so
the state credit union, they always have the best rates. I have my mortgage with them right now.
Okay. Oh, it's a local credit union. What's the balance on your loan?
$295.
Okay. Well, that's a below market rate. I'll just say it that way. Okay, so that's not bad. So let's just call it 2% down from 3%. You would refinance just for that, but we don't roll your debt into your mortgage.
Yeah, I didn't want to roll it in.
So what's the $11,000 student loan got to do with the equation then?
Oh, I'm just still in the debt snowball. I wanted to see if I should finish paying the debt or if I should refinance my house.
Oh, I see. Is there any cost out of pocket to refinance?
No.
Then why would it affect your debt snowball? Because the payment's going to a 15-year.
Yeah, it's going to go about $500-$600.
Ah, okay. Now I'm catching on. Okay. I'm a little slow on the uptick. Sorry about that. All right. Okay, so the big concern is not money out of pocket. It's not rolling the student loan into the refinance. It's simply you're going to have a higher payment, and that's going to slow down how fast you can get your student loan paid off, right?
Yes.
What do you make?
About $95,000.
Okay. It's a good question. Took me a minute to get to the bottom of it because like I said, I wasn't gathering. I was telegraphing where you were going, and it was none of those places. Okay, so, yes, you do this. It's not going to slow it down that much. $500 a month increase in payment changes your cash flow $6,000 a year, making $90,000. That doesn't keep you from getting out of debt.
Okay.
It does slow it down a little bit, but it might slow it down by 2 months or something is all. It's not
on that income.
Yeah.
It's so different than the call we just had before the break, too, because you have such a great income, Nick. You're going to get out of debt quickly whether or not you refinance or not. So you can refinance and get out of debt still in a very short amount of time because you have such a great income. That's the reason we talk to people about getting their income up, whether it's through business, taking a second job, third job. The bigger shovel you have, the more progress you can make on your goals, whatever those goals are. But if you don't have an income, you're tight. There's not a lot you can do.
That's it.
So you're doing great, Nick. That's awesome.
Luke is with us. Luke is in Charlotte, North Carolina. Hi, Luke. How are you?
Hello, Dave. Hello, Christy.
Hi.
So, as with as with most questions, you guys probably answered this before. However, I haven't quite heard it be asked in the time I've been listening. So,
dude, I've been answering the same questions for 30 years. It ain't no thing.
Yep.
Go ahead and ask it. We're ready.
All right. So my question is just kind of determining whether or not I'm on step 6 or 7. So I have all milestones essentially met. The conundrum I'm in is that I still rent, so I technically don't have a mortgage, even though step 6 is essentially paying off the mortgage. Could I consider myself as kind of paying myself a mortgage payment a month on top of what I've already saved for my down payment, which is above your recommended amount? Or would that kind of put me into step 7 instead?
It doesn't matter. Okay. You're doing great. I'm so proud of you. How old are you?
28.
All right, man. You're doing good. Well done. So the bottom line is you don't have any debt, you have an emergency fund in place, and you're putting 15% of your income into retirement, right?
Yep.
Wow. Look at you. Freaking rock star. And then every other dollar you save right now is called down payment money, because the bigger the down payment, the smaller the debt, the faster the house does get paid off when you buy it, right?
Absolutely.
So just make it real clean. Anything that's not an emergency fund that's in savings is increased down payment. We don't have to have 2 categories of it. Just pile up a big old pile of money and go in and buy a house and almost pay for it or pay for it. I'd love it. How much you got saved already for the house?
About 53.
53?
Yes.
Way to go.
You're doing awesome.
What is your income?
91,000.
Good for you. Yeah, you're rocking this, man. So, so if you bought a $200,000 house today, you put down 25%. That'd be cool, you know. And if if you wait 3 or 4 years, you probably just pay cash for it.
Yep. Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with this question. Is considering how much I have, I feel it quite difficult taking out that debt, considering how much I'm able to save per month.
Luke, you're awesome.
And I'm in no hurry to buy.
You're awesome. Here's the reason you don't fit in one of the baby steps just perfectly is because you're not normal. Normal people have a house payment and car payment and student loans and all the debt, and we walk them through, which is great because this plan works for the normal person has normal debts. You're not normal. You haven't bought a house yet. You're possibly saving up to either put a huge down payment or pay cash. You're just going to fast track yourself to baby step 7. You're doing amazing.
Ding, ding.
Yeah.
I love it. Well done, sir.
Yes.
Open phones at 888-825-5225. If you don't have it on your calendar yet, September the 16th, Christy Wright will be doing a live event on life balance, and she's allowing me to participate since I own the freaking company. So
nice of me. I'm so generous.
It was so sweet of you. You're sweet that way. You're good to me. Give the old man some work to do. So anyway, she's the star of the show, and I'll be there for the window dressing or whatever. So check it out. It's all about life balance. It's on September the 16th. You can check out getting your tickets, getting your reservation for the live stream at RamseySolutions.com. What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices, and they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings. Christy Wright, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. We're glad you're here. If you like your job, but you feel like you don't have a plan for what's next, or you need help climbing the career ladder, we got some great news for you. Ken Coleman, America's career coach, Ramsey personality, has poured his years of proven experience into a new book, From Paycheck to Purpose, The Clear Path to Doing Work You Love. It's available for pre-sale right now, and you need this book. There isn't another how-to guide out there that will show you exactly step-by-step what you do to get into your dream job and to promote along the way and grow your career. If you pre-order today, you'll receive the Get Promoted bonus pack for free. It includes an audio lesson on promotions, the DISC assessment, free live stream access to Ken's From Paycheck to Purpose live event, and a 30-day free trial to Ramsey Plus, and more. It's over $100, almost $200 worth of stuff, free when you buy this $20 book on pre-sale at RamseySolutions.com. Also, we're giving away $500 cash every week this month and a grand prize of $3,000 at the end of August. And while you're there, Christy's new book is also on pre-sale. Take Back Your Time, the guilt-free guide to life balance. We have 2 books right now coming out this fall, both of them in pre-sale right now. Christy's will actually launch on September the 14th and Ken's in early November. Enter daily for extra chances to win the Ramsey Cash giveaway. No purchase necessary. You got to be 18 years old or older. Text CASH for the free cash to 33789, and you can enter for the giveaway. That's cash to 33789. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. They have a 100% satisfaction guarantee, meaning if you screw up, if you mismeasure, you pick the wrong color, they'll remake your blinds for free. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use the promo code Ramsey to get the best deal.
Today's question comes from Mandy in Washington. I have a cleaning business that provides services to vacation rentals in a nearby tourist town. I have many longtime clients and excellent reputation for detailed work. Because finding workers is difficult these days, I've had to increase what I pay them by $5 to $10 an hour. The cost of supplies has also gone up. I recently let my clients know that their cleaning fee would increase in a few weeks. Several rental owners understand and agree with it, but a few are just rude. One of them wants to know what I charge all my other clients. What's a good response to this type of request?
Bye-bye.
I haven't even finished the question. You can't help yourself. I have new clients coming on board at the higher rate, so there's no lack of business. Right. You just answered your own question, Mandy. I have new clients coming on board at the higher rate, so there's no lack of business. They're gone. Bye. Just like Dave said. Bye. They're gone. Here's the thing. There's such a fear in business that if you raise your prices, you're going to lose people. And the reality is you will, and you'll lose the ones you need to lose. You'll lose the ones that are rude, that you're spending all of your time and energy on, that are headaches more often than not. If someone is demanding to know what you charge and what you do, that is none of their business. Literally, it's not their business.
I mean, literally, it's your business, not theirs. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. That's where the saying comes from, isn't it?
Yes. And so you don't have to feel bad. If someone is rude, they no longer are a client, and you wish them the best. Thanks for your business. Best luck out there. I mean, it's to me, this is a very simple, I know it doesn't feel like it when you're dealing with actual people and you care and you want to, but if someone's going to have the nerve to be rude to you, you have to have the nerve to kindly show them the door.
Yeah, you're right. So here's what happens. You don't get hard-hearted or calloused, hopefully, the longer you're in business. But what experience does give you is the knowledge that cutting those folks loose is you didn't realize how much time they were already taking of yours.
That's exactly right.
Because people that are going to be a rude client are usually your highest maintenance clients.
Always.
They take up more of your time. You make less money on them. And so there's always a percentage of your business, of your revenue in business, that you should always consider firing. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that you can spend time on it's what we call bad business. It's business that you're doing that's not good. It's not worth the trouble.
Right.
And, but someone that says, oh, you mean you mean you're having to pay more for labor, and you mean your supplies costs went up? The way I'm going to respond to that is I'm going to be rude to you. Instead of saying, you know what, gosh, I've always enjoyed working with you, but I guess I'm going to have to clean it myself because I can't afford it to do that. Right. And so it's been good, though.
Right.
That's the way you leave if you can't afford it. But people that can't afford it sometimes are the meanest.
Yeah. Or they can't afford it. They just don't want to. And so they're mean. And that's where it comes down to you having the confidence to let them go and know that you're going to be okay. You've already said you will be, Mandy. You have no lack of business. And so you have permission to set these people free. You know how my mom would do it, Dave? She would fire customers in the kindest way. So she was obviously in the wedding cake business. So she'd get some bridezillas, momzillas, all the whole gamut.
Good Lord,
you can imagine. Yeah. And so what she would realize is truly she would spend 90% of her time and energy on her 10% most difficult customers. The rest of them are easy, right? And so when she found it was time to fire a customer, which she got good after 30 years of doing this, identifying those red flags early on, here she'd say something like this, like, you know what? This is your wedding day, and I want you to be happy. You should be happy. And I can just tell by us talking about this, I'm not going to be able to make you happy. And I want you to be happy. So here are some different places you can go check out for wedding cakes that'll make you happy. I wish you the best. Isn't that the nicest thing you've ever heard? But what she did was she fired him.
Well, and the beautiful thing about this is the net effect was she sent all the ugly customers to her competitors.
I knew you were going to point that out. You got a stack of business cards of your competitors tossing them out.
I think that's genius. Yeah.
But you're so nice
You're
about it.
high maintenance. Go see my competitor.
Well, you put it back on them. You go, you should be happy. Absolutely. Clearly,
I want you to be happy.
I can't meet all your expectations. You put it right back on them.
Jesus couldn't make you happy, darling. So you need to go. Yeah.
You know what's interesting though? Every now and then, one of them would straighten up. Oh, no, this is fine. And they would start to behave as a good behaving customer. But she taught them, hey, if you're going to do business with me, you're going to respect the way that I do business, and I'm going to respect you and so on. But every now and then, one of them would straighten up and they could stay. But if not, they had to be fired.
Most of the time, it's not. They don't
Most of the time, they don't. Yep.
So what we're saying is when I interrupt in the middle of you reading that and I say, bye-bye, that's from 30 years of... The first time I did it, I almost cried.
You did.
Yes, I did, because I was so scared that I was going to mess up the whole world and somebody wasn't going to like little Dave Ramsey.
Yeah.
And then once I figured out, crap, about half the world doesn't like Dave Ramsey.
We just need to accept that.
That's okay now, It's like the other half's doing pretty good for me. It's all right, I'll be all right, So, Twitter trolls and everything else. So you reach the point, you go, it didn't kill me and it didn't kill them.
Yeah.
And that also gives you the power to be nice.
It does.
Like your mom was, because she knew it wasn't, they could get a cake made somewhere else.
Absolutely. And what's interesting is you don't realize how much of the emotional energy and time that were wrapped up in those people. And you're so much freer.
Yeah.
You're so much freer when you let those people go. And,
But once you've done it for a decade and you go, I've turned loose of 5 to 10% of my business every year. I let them go in the name of they're not worth the trouble.
Yeah.
And I did it in a kind but powerful and strength-based way. Once you've done it a bunch, then you read something like this, you can get halfway through it and go, bye-bye.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not hard-hearted. It's not calloused.
No.
It's like they're going to live through it. It's just freaking getting your house cleaned. They're going to live through it.
They self-selected by how they behaved.
Yeah.
By how they treated you.
Yeah.
They chose that, not you.
Exactly. And then there's the other bunch that are just crazy.
Yeah, they got to go too.
Yeah, there's about 2% of the public should be institutionalized. And you really just don't want them as a customer for sure.
Nope.
So you just fire them quick. And that's a little more joyful. But don't. There's no reason for you to. I don't like our customer care people. Don't call and yell and cuss at them because I tell them we'll just take you out of the database. They don't get paid enough to put up with your crap. Call in here with a problem and be nice, and we'll help you with it. This is the Ramsey Show. Christy Wright, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. Her new book, Take Back Your Time, The Guilt-Free Guide to Life Balance, is on pre-sale right now. Jay and Heather are with us. They are in Minneapolis, and it says on my screen you guys are debt-free. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dave.
Congrats. How much have you guys paid off?
$128,000.
Good for you.
Awesome.
How long did this take?
It took us 15 years.
Okay, cool. And your range of income during that time?
45 to 80,000.
Okay, cool. What do y'all do for a living these days?
I'm an IT director for a library system.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a stay-at-home mom of 9 kids, and I homeschool them.
9 kids? 9. You guys have got a lot of mouths to feed and still got your way out of debt, huh?
Yep, we started off with 1 kid when we started the baby steps, and we added 8 along the way, and they were all paid for with cash.
No repossessions to date, huh? Okay, that's good.
That's incredible. Heather, I can never complain about being too busy with my 3 children again. That's amazing.
So 128. Yeah. So 128,000, is that house and everything?
House and everything, $20,000 student loan, and that was paid off in the first 13 months, and then the mortgage after that.
Wow. Way to go! You have a paid-for house! Look at you, man! Did you ever think you'd have a paid-for house?
Not before the plan, but once we got on track and knew the plan, we knew we'd get there.
Oh, definitely, yeah. But I mean, back in the day, like, because people don't walk around going, I'm going to have no mortgage when I'm older. People don't say that much. Good for you, man. Right. How old are you guys?
I'm 45 and Heather's 42.
Okay, cool.
Awesome.
So tell us the story. What got you started on all this 15 years ago?
Well, we had our first kid, and we were wanting Heather to be able to keep staying at home and to be able to homeschool, and money was tight. I heard you on Focus on the Family way back then, and then I got excited about your message. Got the book Financial Peace First, and then I introduced you to Heather, and it turned out she'd already heard your message somewhere months before that and couldn't get it through to me.
Of course.
You came around when it was your idea, right, Jay?
Exactly.
Man, that was long enough ago. Probably Dr. James Dobson was still on there, wasn't he?
It might have been, yeah. It was a long time.
Yeah, that's cool. Very neat. Very fun. And so you start. She now that she realized that it was your idea, we could start this, and here we go. Right?
Yes, exactly.
I love it. Very cool. And you paid off the student loan quickly. So what do you tell people the key to getting out of that house and everything with 9 kids is?
Well, you have to want it, and then you have to start. It's not something you can just want and just want and get it. It's hard work. It's not easy to keep going when it gets rough, when you have, we need to get a 15-passenger van now. That's kind of discouraging, but you just keep going. With the mortgage, it was challenging because we didn't have that debt snowball to build all the momentum with, so it was just a slog once we got to the mortgage. Also, envelopes are very important. Plastic just takes way too much discipline, even if it's just a debit card.
Okay. Lots of envelopes at your place then.
Oh, lots of envelopes.
Okay, cool. This is so interesting. So sometimes I read ridiculous posts on social media that say things like, well, that Dave Ramsey stuff doesn't work if you have a large family. And then I have large family people chime in and say, it's the only thing that works.
Absolutely. Yep. It really is. It's bad enough, all the things you have to think about with a big family, but to have those debt considerations in the back of your mind just nagging at you, it's very freeing that we just have one less thing to think about now.
Yeah.
No house payment.
A major thing that you don't have to think about.
No house payment. Yep. That's like, yeah. And so all we do is all we do is make enough to feed all these baby birds and clothe them and make sure we have a 19-passenger van and all that stuff, man. It's pretty incredible, dude. That's just beautiful. I love it. I'm so proud of you guys. How's it feel?
Thank you.
I think it feels fun. We actually get to make choices with our budget now instead of just buckling down and moving along like the tortoise. Now we get to, hop around and have fun, and we can give some, and we can, all go out to eat as a whole family, which is something we very rarely ever have done.
Yeah. How is it with the kids, with those 9 kids and a variety of ages, range of ages, I'm sure in there, through this journey? Was that something y'all talked about as a family, kind of getting everybody bought into this vision as a family of what y'all are doing?
Well, we started early enough that we didn't have to get anybody to buy in. We just told them how it was going to be.
Yeah, well, that's for sure.
It's really turning out good now as we have a 16-year-old, and Heather has been working really hard to get him through college without any debt and without a huge amount of money in a college fund, because we just have baby college funds for everybody. So she's been doing a lot of testing for credit, and he's starting post-secondary enrollment here in the fall, and he's probably going to get out with only a few dollars out of pocket to get his degree.
He just bought his very first car this week, debt-free.
Wow.
All right. What did he buy?
Oh, it's just an old 2003 Taurus. It's your hoopty.
Yeah, what did he pay for it?
$1,000.
I love this kid. Go.
We do too.
He's going to school. He's going to go to school debt-free, and he bought his first car for $1,000 cash. And he's 16.
Yep.
He's already planning to go to college debt-free.
Absolutely. He's basically halfway done already.
Hey, America, you know what that's called? Parenting. Wow.
Called an awesome mom.
Yeah, the inmates don't run the asylum when you have 9. They do what they're told. That's amazing, guys. You guys are incredible. I'm so impressed with you.
Yes.
Man, what a great model. Very, very cool. Very cool. Well, we've got a copy of The Legacy Journey for you, because for sure that's the next chapter in your story, without a doubt. And a copy of the Total Money Makeover for you to give away to somebody and get them started. You've got a lot of arrows in your quiver that you'll be able to release, and it sounds like they know how to fly straight already, which is good parenting. And so, they're just fabulously done, you guys. Very, very well done. $128,000. All right. I tell you what, we don't need to break tradition here. We need you guys to name off all 9 names and ages before you do your debt-free scream. Quickly.
All right, we've got Caleb, 16, James, 13, Joshua, 12, Anna, 10, Micah, 8, Gideon, 6, Lydia, 4, Timothy, 2, and Ruth, 8 months.
All right.
Wow.
There we go.
Awesome.
$128,000 paid off, house and everything. We're talking to weird people. 15 years it took them to do it. Making 45 to 80. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free!
All those little voices.
Love it.
All those little voices in the background.
That is a family tree changed, and it's a big tree.
It's a big tree.
Well done, you guys.
Tree. That's
well
awesome.
done. Okay, so moral of the story. You don't have to make a gazillion dollars to be debt-free.
Nope.
Moral of the story, large families not only can do the principles we teach, living on a plan, getting out of debt, having an emergency fund in place, living on less than you make, these simple but hard-to-do concepts that we teach every day actually are the only shot a large family has.
Yeah.
You got no wiggle room. You got no margin for error when you have 9 mouths to feed, right?
Yeah, no, that's true. And it's interesting, too, because whether you have a big family, small family, or whatever your circumstances, you can find an excuse if you look for one. Oh, we got a big family. Oh, you don't understand my situation. Yeah, you can look for an excuse and you'll find one. Or you can just look for a way to make it work, and it does work. And we see people call in from all ages, all stages, all different careers, industries, and family sizes, and they're making it work because it's a principle that can be applied regardless of your family. And I love that example because that's such an extreme example.
Yeah, well, these principles are the truth.
Yeah.
Like the law of gravity is the truth.
Yes. It works every
It works
time.
for large families, too. This is The Ramsey Show. Christy Wright, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Mia is in Sacramento. Hi, Mia. How are you? Mia, how are you?
Mia might be on mute.
Maybe I didn't push the button right. I'll put her back on hold. And all right, let's try Sean in Minneapolis. Hi, Sean. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Good. Relieved to hear your voice. What's up?
Yeah, I'm good. So I have recently picked up your Total Money Makeover from a used bookstore. I'm really glad that I did. I saw a crazy-looking guy cutting up a credit card, and I thought, what is this about? And I totally dove in, and I am dead set on paying off all of my debts, and I can't look forward anymore to the day where I can come on stage and do my debt-free scream with my girlfriend and I. So
good for you. Very cool.
My question is about the budget, and more specifically, the things that you budget for that could change on a month-to-month basis. So like doing your bills and your mortgage is relatively easy because they don't really change much at all, if at all.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm kind of struggling with the idea of like how much money should we be setting aside for groceries or clothing, things like that, I guess. Like, do you guys go off of like a percentage, or is this like a flat amount per person in the family? What do you recommend?
Is this your first time doing a budget?
I've always had like a half budget where, like I said, I'm doing the easier things. But it wasn't until I started using the Every Dollar free app that I really started to
I'll tell you how I did it.
Understand that I wasn't really doing it 100%.
Yeah. I'll tell you how I did it when I got started budgeting, and I think this is how we teach it, Dave. Correct me if I'm wrong, but what I did for my very first budget is I looked at my bank statement for the past 3 months to see what was the average that I had been spending on groceries or that type of thing. And it's not because I always needed to spend that, but it gave me some type of range, so I'm not setting some ridiculously unrealistic number. And then I come up with the range. Okay, I typically spend about this much, and then you can kind of stretch yourself to a goal from there. For some of those things that can fluctuate. But because you do a budget every month, so for example, it's August right now, and I just went back to school shopping for my kids. They needed some new clothes. They've outgrown some of the clothes and so on. So I know August is going to be a higher clothing month.
Before the month.
Yeah.
You can predict that.
Right. Before the month, I know August is going to be a back to school shopping month. Whereas, in July, I'm not going shopping for clothes, for example. So you'll sit down before the month begins every single month. And it's the best guess you can based on past track record and in line with your goals of what you want to spend and where you're going. Am I saying that right?
You did perfectly.
Okay, great.
Perfectly. And stuff like even utilities will change from month to month.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're in Tennessee, and so it's really hot in the summers, and so our air conditioning bill, our electricity bill is higher. In the winter, I heat my home with natural gas, and so my electric bill is fairly low, but my natural gas bill goes up in the winter. And so I can predict that December's gas bill is going to be different than June's. Okay, as an example.
Right.
And I can look at last year's. Yeah. I can look at last year's and guess pretty close to what it's going to be. And on that kind of thing, you want to guess a little high. So you say, okay, last year's gas bill was, I don't know, make it up, $235 or whatever. Okay, well, just go ahead and round that to $250 and put that in there, and that way you got yourself a little wiggle room if something comes up, and that's how you do it. And then the last piece is that a lot of people, including my wife, uses the envelope system. And we don't use it for everything, but for a few things. You mentioned groceries. By the way, a hint on groceries is whatever you think you spend on groceries before you actually start living on a budget, you're wrong. It's more.
Yes.
Okay. So
alarmingly more.
If you think you spend $500, it's probably more like $800. If you think you spend $800, it might be $1,200. And I'm not talking about restaurants. I'm talking about groceries only. Separate groceries and restaurants apart, because restaurants are entertainment and groceries are food. Yes, you get food at a restaurant, but most of what you pay for is the experience of having someone else cook it for you and clean it and all that stuff. So, go that route with this and you'll be much, much better off. Now, so the envelopes, all we do with that is we say, okay, for the month, I think we're going to spend $800 and put $800 cash in an envelope and write food on the outside of that envelope. Don't buy anything out of that envelope except food, and don't buy any food except out of that envelope. No cheating. And so you are using cash. That does two things. One is when that envelope gets empty, you know you've run out of money. And there's a little catch mechanism there. It's empty. Versus if you've got plastic or even writing checks in the old days, you could just keep going. There was nothing to stop you and go, uh-oh, we've overspent the budget. Yeah. And you could do that for the back-to-school clothes. You could have a back-to-school clothes envelope for August and say, that's it, because you got little boys going back, and that little boy stuff's cute as the little girl stuff, just about. It's fun dressing them up, and you could go crazy in there, easy enough, and blow your amount and have all kinds of rationalizations and justifications. But if you're looking in that envelope at real $100 bills, real $50 bills, and they are leaving, it slows your butt down because you feel it.
Yeah. I got a question about the envelopes, and maybe you've talked about this and I've just missed it. Have you talked at all about so envelopes have this like built-in discipline, right? Like, because it's visual, you can see it. Since the pandemic, Dave, everybody has so much online shopping. Yeah. And Amazon. Man, add to cart is so easy. Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're using, how do you transfer that discipline to Amazon?
If you're going to buy online, you're not using the envelope. And I'll tell you one that's changed over the years. When we first started teaching this 30 years ago, you did not pay for gasoline at the pump. Yeah. You walked inside to pay for it.
Right. I do remember that.
Old school.
I remember that.
And
or someone pumped it for
I
you.
used to carry and teach to carry a gasoline envelope with cash in it to pay cash for your gas. And then when it goes up to $5 a gallon, you're like pissed at the president, right? And so that kind of stuff, right? So now, but I haven't paid with, we haven't had a gas envelope at the Ramseys in years. We pay with a debit card.
Right, like all normal
you're
people.
doing online.
Right.
At the pump. But so you've still got to budget that and keep track of it, and you got to have some way, and the Every Dollar Budgeting app will let you know, but you've got to categorize each of those expenditures. Yeah. And when they pop on your debit card, especially if you got the premium edition where it's what automatically logs and all that, then you go, okay, drag and drop. You're dragging that expense over into the food category at Amazon, dragging a food expense over there. Oh, and we've got some cash over here. Then you look up and go, crap, we just went $500 over. This is not going to work. I can't do this.
Well, and Every Dollar makes it so fun and makes it so easy to do, but you're right, because you might have a grocery budget or a clothing budget and you spend the majority of your monthly expenses out of that envelope or out of that category in cash, but then there's a percentage you get Amazon Fresh, or that you get a couple clothing items off online, and you've got to be able to reconcile that this is all coming from the same budget line item, and it will drop down when you start dropping those things over that are transactions like you're talking about. But it's important to pay attention to, because you've got things coming out of different places. And if you're not careful, that add to cart will get you, man. Not that I know anything about that.
Add to cart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't even know what that is. So you can add stuff. They suggest people like you buy things like this, and then you add to the cart?
It's like, it's not even that, Dave. It's like sometimes you're just having a day and you're like, I don't know, I just need to add some things to my cart. Just any cart.
The cart wasn't already had anything in it.
No.
This is just brand new. This is just generally
online shopping, Dave. This is listen, I guarantee you all the women listening are going like, yeah. I mean, they make like doormats.
You're just sitting around bored and going, I need to buy crap.
I mean, it's a real thing.
That's it.
They make doormats that say like, Amazon man, please hide the boxes from my husband. Online shopping is a real.
No, I know, but I mean,
struggle.
I didn't know, but I know. Oh my God.
Like you'll see on Instagram a meme that says it's an add to cart kind of day.
Okay.
So
it's
now
like
you know.
Retail therapy. Online style.
100%. I'm glad I can help educate you today.
Boredom spending.
Yes, it's a thing.
Well, I'd just be ashamed if I were you. I would just be ashamed.
I don't
Not
feel
only
any
do you
shame.
know about it, but you've done it. Oh my God. I'd just be ashamed if I were you.
I feel no shame. Maybe I should. I just don't.
I feel no shame. I'll do what I want. I'm Christy Wright. That's it. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books.
it's Kelly, associate producer and phone screener for The Ramsey Show. If you would like to do your debt-free scream live on the show, make sure you visit theramseyshow.com and register. We would love for you to come to Nashville and tell Dave your story.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Christy Wright, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author of the book Business Boutique. Her new book on pre-sale, Take Back Your Time, the Guilt-Free Guide to Life Balance, on sale now for $20 at Ramsey Solutions. Includes $100 worth of goodies to go with it, including a live stream event that she and I will be doing on September the 16th. She'll be doing, and I'll be doing a little bit of it, but I'll be there, and let you guys in on some life hacks when it comes to balance. She's going to walk you through the process. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Melody is with us in Dallas. Hi, Melody. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, guys.
Hey, what's up?
Hi, thank you so much for talking to me.
Sure. How can we help?
So my husband and I, we have 4 kids. They make about $50,000 a year, and that's just him. I stay at home with the kids. And we kind of got in over our heads with our mortgage. It's a little bit tight. At the end of all of our bills, we have about less than $200 that's able to go to savings. And we're just wondering if we need, sorry, I'm nervous.
You're doing great. Take your time.
We're just wondering what we need to do because we're stuck here. And he's open to working a second job and, saving money until he can go back to school or something. But he doesn't want it to be like, he lives his life working 2 jobs. So he's kind of like, I don't know what to do here, if I should try to work up in my company because he likes his company, but he's just not making enough right now.
Mm-hmm. When you said, I'm curious about one part of your question, Melody. You said we're stuck here. What do you mean by that? I just want to question that before we dig into all this.
Oh, yeah. Well, we really like it here and everything. We feel great about the area, but it's a new developed neighborhood, and they said that they don't want anybody to sell for at least a year from buying. So
I don't care what they want.
Can they determine that? I don't think so. Can they?
I don't know. I was wondering, is that even legal? I don't know.
No, it's not.
But that's what they told us.
It's not. You don't have a deed restriction that prohibits you from selling for a year. That's just
okay.
So, how much is your house? How much is your house payment?
We want to move. It's only at $1,000 right now, but they said that because of for tax purposes, it'll be more like $14,000 next year.
Okay.
And then we have mud taxes for water, and it just adds up so fast.
Yeah, and with 4 kids.
Than we thought it would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After taxes and with 4 kids, yeah.
Yeah. Realistically, we have to have a path for his income to go up, or you need to sell the house, one of the two. So you're asking the right questions, and it doesn't matter how much you like it; it's whether you can afford it, and you can't prosper with what you've got there. Your house payment is probably about 40% of your take-home pay.
And to your husband's,
that's what we figured at this point. Yeah.
Yeah.
To your husband's point, Melody, he doesn't want to work 2 jobs forever as the path to keep this house that he never gets to see. So that's not a good plan either. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like short term, if that could change something, that's fine, but not long term.
Let me direct you to KenColeman.com. Ken is our Ramsey personality that teaches people how to find what they're good at, what they love, and what gives them some passion, and then only then start asking the questions, what do I have to do to be one of those? What do I have to do to get, he calls it get clear on what you want to do and why you want to do it. What's your talent, your passion? What is it that you love doing and what you're good at? And then from that you go, okay, I don't necessarily have that degree, or I don't have that certification, or I would need to go be an apprentice to do that. From there you say, all right, I've got to get qualified, and then I've got to get connected. Those are the first three of his steps, of his path, stages to getting the work, the dream job that you love. So moving up inside of his company might be the answer, but only if it's moving towards something that he loves doing and that he's good at and that he's passionate about, and he sees himself jazzed on Monday morning.
He's not there right now.
Yeah. So we need to say, okay, 5 years from today, 3 years from today, 2 years from today, what could I be doing? If I could be doing anything I wanted to do and I had all the necessary degrees and there was nothing holding me back, what's my favorite thing in the world? And I could make $80,000 a year, maybe. Okay? Start asking yourself that. And then you don't take something just for money. For sure. That's a bad idea. But you also don't take something just because it's in front of you and you didn't see anything else lately, which is how he got here. He just took a job. Yeah, and that's what most people do. It's not a bad thing, but the good news is the house is kind of giving you the wake-up call. So I think you guys should sit down together with the kids in bed and you do some soul searching about what he's going to do with his career, and is that then going to manifest itself into more money fast enough to keep our family from being broke due to this house?
And I think when you run those scenarios, Melody, you start looking at the numbers and go, what does he need to make in order for you guys to stay in this house and feel good about it and afford it? And then, and is that possible with this track that he's on? But then you look at the other option. It may actually be both. It may be changing careers, and you still realize this isn't the house we need to stay in this season. And that's okay. When you start to lay out all the options you have, change careers, second job, sell the house, some combination of that, you just start to feel more in control because you realize you're not painted in a corner with two bad options. You have more options than you think. So just spend some time, just like Dave said, when the kids are down, where you can just lay out all the options on the table, and that will immediately reduce your stress because you can see all of the paths to get you to where you want to go, and then you can make the best decision. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. I also did want to ask you if you thought it would be realistic for me to try to do something from home, having 4 kids, they're 5 and under.
Be tough, but it can be done.
Yeah. It would require you to give up any time that you have by yourself right now. So it would be before they wake up or after they go to bed. That would be when that would happen, realistically.
Yeah.
And so it's just...
I wouldn't even know where to start. I don't have any kind of...
Yeah. I tell you what, we'll send you a couple of things. I'm going to send you a copy of Christy's book, Business Boutique, which will help with your ideas of where you might start. And I'm going to send you a copy of Ken's book, The Proximity Principle. And I want your husband to get on KenColeman.com tonight, because we need a track towards making $80,000. And I don't care what the track is, or if it's 3 years, 2 years, 1 year, 5 years, whatever. I need a track. If you're not going to put that track in place, you need to put this house up for sale. This is The Ramsey Show. Stop paying your overpriced wireless provider and switch to Pure Talk. They use the same network as the larger providers for much less. For just $30 a month, get unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data with no contract. The average family saves over $70 a month by switching to Pure Talk. Just go to puretalk.com and enter the promo code Ramsey to save 50% off your first month. Pure Talk, simply smarter wireless. The Ramsey Show. Christy Wright, #1 best-selling author and Ramsey personality, is my co-host today, answering your questions about your life and your money. If it feels like no matter what you try to do or how hard you work, you cannot get ahead, I know the feeling. It's exhausting, it's stressful, and sometimes even terrifying. You do not have to live like that. If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, decide that you're ready to do something different so that you get different results. It's time to commit to a plan that actually works. Financial Peace University is the step-by-step plan that's helped millions and millions of people pay off debt and take control of their money. Combine that with a premium version of the Every Dollar budgeting tool, and you'll make progress right away. It's only available with a membership to Ramsey Plus. Decide today to break the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck. This month only, we're taking $30 off the price of a 12-month Ramsey Plus membership, and it's got tons of stuff in it. Financial Peace University and Every Dollar are just part of it. Start with a free trial of Ramsey Plus today by texting TRIAL to 33789. Text TRIAL to 33789. Michael is with us in Las Vegas. Hi, Michael, what's up?
Hey, how are you doing, Dave?
Better than I deserve. How can I help?
Hey, so I've never had any financial teachings except for YouTube, and that's where I found you. I owe $280,000 on my house, and I have $50,000 in the bank, and I was wondering, should I just put that 50 right toward the principal, or put it in the market, and once it reaches my house payoff, then pull it out and pay off my house?
Do you have any other debt?
No.
Do you have any other savings?
I have $50,000 in my deferred comp retirement thing, but I can't pull it out till I'm retired.
Well, first of all, way to go on being debt-free. That's awesome. You're in a great position. You do want to have an emergency fund. You want to have a fully funded emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. So I don't know what that would be for you, but you want to make sure you set that aside, and that's going to be in cash in a savings account that you can access anytime. It doesn't need to be invested. It doesn't need to be complicated, and you don't want to put that towards the house because you need to access it if something goes wrong. But then the rest, what you're going to do is if you're not already investing on baby step number 4, you want to invest 15% on baby step number 4, and then you want to take the rest and just put it towards your house and drop that down. You shouldn't have any type of fees or penalties for paying a larger sum at one time, and that will drop your balance down, and you're just making progress at the same time on baby step 6.
So, Michael, the deal is this. I'm honored that you found us on YouTube. It scares me that that's your only source of information. And I don't think we lack credibility. We do this for a living, but you probably need to get some books and some other things. I'll send you a copy of our best-selling book, The Total Money Makeover, which will walk you through the whole process of building wealth. And Christy's exactly on track there. We teach a process that literally tens of millions of people have done, called the baby steps, which is the shortest distance between where you are in wealth, which was the underlying question you asked. What's the fastest way for me to get wealthy? Meaning pay off my house, have some money. Is it put the money in the stock market, or is it pay off my house with the money? So you need an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses, as she outlined, and you put the rest of it on the mortgage. The reason we say to do that rather than invest the difference is that the data that we have, having studied 10,000 millionaires, among those that became millionaires, north of 80% of them did so by 2 primary things, which is most of them, in other words. They got their home paid off, and that was a big chunk of their net worth, and they steadily invested into their retirement accounts, whether it's deferred comp, 401k, Roth IRAs, something along those lines. But usually it was 401ks and Roth IRAs. Deferred comp's usually down the list. So, that's what I would have you to do, is let's work to get the house paid off. And then when that's paid off, not having a house payment enables you to invest a lot of money per month. And the advantage is that you're able to build wealth very, very quickly then. Sela's with us in Vancouver, Washington. Hi, Sela. How are you?
Hi, Dave. Thanks for answering my call.
Sure. What's up?
Hey, so I am 24 years old. I'm married. We just had our first baby. He's 10 months old now.
Congratulations.
And thank you. It's been fun, and expensive. So my question is, here in Vancouver, Washington, as you guys probably know, the cost of living here is astronomical. A decent house in a decent neighborhood is anywhere from, and this is a minimum of $325, $350. But you know, if you're going to get a sizable house, if we want to have another baby and have a 3-bedroom, it'd be like $400,000. And so the 20% down payment is a very large amount. And I'm just wondering, for people my age, especially the millennial and Gen Z generation, the option of zero down. So we have $16,000 in our savings account. We've got $2,000 in stocks. So we're going to have $40,000 by August of this next year. But we're just wondering if we should just do the zero down versus doing versus wiping it out, if that makes sense.
Well, zero down, I would not buy a house. It means if you don't have any money, you shouldn't buy a house. That's a bad plan. You're going to get yourself in a pinch. So you need an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses, and you're debt-free before you start talking about buying. On a first-time home buy, we don't tell people you have to put down 20%. It's just preferable, because if you don't, you're going to have PMI, private mortgage insurance, which is going to run you about $75 to $100 per $100,000 borrowed per month. So it turns out to be a lot of money going to an insurance program that pays them, the mortgage company, in the event you get foreclosed on. That also applies to first-time home buyers and home buyer programs. So there are no first-time home buyer programs that don't have some kind of mortgage insurance backing on them. And so it gets to be very, very expensive. And the whole premise of a first-time home buyer program is that first-time home buyers do not have any money and they need to buy a house anyway. Well, that's a dumb butt idea. And so I'd stay away from those programs. They're really not a big blessing. And if you don't put down 20%, I'm okay with that. But put it on a 15-year fixed where the payment's no more than a fourth of your take-home pay. And let me tell you what. If you think Vancouver, Washington is an area you cannot afford to live in under those guidelines, then that means Vancouver, Washington is an area you can't afford to live in. You may not be able to afford to live in Silicon Valley either, or on Manhattan Island. Very, very expensive real estate. There's a lot of areas people cannot afford to live in because they don't make enough money to live there. I don't think that's true in your case. I think you're out there looking around at houses and you just saw some you liked, and then you started crafting this narrative in your mind that you can't afford, that the only houses that you can afford are the only ones you like are the ones that all they have, and that's just not true. So I think you take your time, you continue to learn the real estate market, you get a good down payment in place. It does not have to be 20% down, but it does need to be a 15-year fixed and where the payment is no more than a fourth of your take-home pay. If you don't do that, you're going to slow your wealth building dramatically because you use the wrong set of assumptions to handle your money. And it's going to put you in a pinch.
Yeah, the other thing I would just encourage you to think about is, even if you want to have more children in the future, you can look at getting a larger home when you have more cash in the future. You don't have to have your first home be the house with all the bedrooms and the location you want. Start a little bit further out of town, maybe smaller, less bedrooms, and then in a few years, that home value's gone up. If you want to sell and you've got more cash saved, you'll have more options. You don't have to do it all right now. You don't have to rush it.
Absolutely. This is The Ramsey Show. Christy Wright, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Bill and Stephanie are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Doing great. How about you?
Better than I deserve. Welcome. Where do y'all live?
Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, fun. Welcome to Nashville. And I hear all the way up here to do a debt-free scream. How much did you pay off?
$365,000.
Whoa! Nice. And how long did this take you?
37 months.
Oh, wow. Kicking it. And your range of income during that time?
$280 to $450.
Oh, wow. What do you guys do for a living?
I'm membership sales with Freedom Boat Club.
Okay.
And I'm a pharmacist with
All
managed
right.
care.
Very good. Good for you guys. Well done. So, $365,000. What kind of debt was that?
My student loan, auto loan, and a lease, cell phones, furniture, and 401k loan, and our mortgage.
Oh, look at it, weird people.
That's
House and
awesome.
everything.
Wow.
So how much of the 365 was mortgage and how much was the pharmacy student loan?
The student loan, when we committed to the plan, was about $35,000, but it was $78,800 at the beginning.
Oh, okay. So you weren't, I was thinking it was 200.
And our mortgage was about $265,000.
Oh, okay. So that was the lion's share. Excellent. So you guys just got 37 months? Boom.
Boom.
Once you decide to do it, it's gone, huh?
That's right.
Yeah, just like that. All right. So I got to hear this story. What in the world got you so fired up?
Well, we have to go back. So about 6 years ago, looking at our marriage was not in the best of shape and a mountain of debt. And so I began my own plan, looked at my student loans, and in 9 years had paid off $13,000 towards the principal and $45,000 in payments.
Wow.
And that was my had moment. And so I began tackling the debt in secret without my husband's awareness to alleviate some of the marital stress. And so fast forward to the fall of 2017, we got planted into a local church through our children and family who had been praying for us for years. And our son was saved that winter, and him and I were baptized that spring.
Wow.
Wow.
Yes. And so we entered into a fast and a tithing challenge. And so that's when I had to basically confess to Bill that I had been paying off debt without him knowing. And that didn't go over well. So we had to get through that and essentially, had to ask for forgiveness. And once I got him kind of on board, it was on our way over to Nashville, driving over for my grandpa's funeral, that we were listening to your show, and he agreed to do it with me. And so then we began, and a year later had paid off all of our consumer debt and established our emergency fund, and then began the mortgage. And so, let me see here. Give me 1 second.
What's the church?
Celebration Church.
Oh, yeah.
In Jacksonville.
Great.
Yes.
It's a great church. Yeah. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Very cool.
They've been a great family for us.
She drugged me into that, kicking and screaming, and into the Dave Ramsey program, kicking and screaming. But I'm forever grateful for it.
Yeah. Wow. So you both met God as adults in this process.
Yes.
We did.
Wow.
That's
impressive.
amazing.
Very, very cool. Okay, so in 2017, she comes in and goes, I've been secretly paying off debt. So what was it that pissed you off about that? The fact that it was a secret and you had been deceived? Because, I have less debt doesn't make anybody mad, usually.
Yeah, I think the big thing was, I kind of like everybody else, I always think, you can put that money into, some kind of investment and make more money than what we were paying off on the student loans.
Okay.
I think that was the big thing. I used to always talk about it at work with a few
That
people.
And nobody likes secrets.
Yeah.
That's not cool at all. Yeah. Okay. That's fair. Okay. Interesting. So you're right. You're making the trip into Nashville. The radio's on. You guys are listening, and you're like trapped. You can't get out, Bill, in this car, and she's got the radio dial on there. And so but something you heard started clicking. What was it?
I think the biggest aha moment for me was she said, I want to get rid of my Infinity lease and go buy a used car. I think that's what ultimately made me say, okay, who's this Dave Ramsey guy?
What the heck? Yeah, this is, he's got way too much influence here. I need to learn about this character.
For sure.
It was a huge
Very
turning
cool.
point for me.
Yep.
Okay.
was.
Cars were a big thing.
Ah, okay. And he knew that.
Yes.
Yeah, so,
Made him pay attention.
so for you to say that, Bill's like, whoa, this just got real.
It did.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Which for my wife, the car that she drives, I'm a lot more concerned about it than she is. I'm like, you need a better car. I don't get a cat. It's not her. Cars are not her thing. But you got to know the hot button, though. That's interesting.
Yep.
Very cool, you guys. Very cool. So your son was how old when all this happened? When he was
8th grade. So
he was in the 8th grade. So he just went with a friend to church?
So there was a friend that he knew went to Celebration and had been talking to him about it. And so they woke up one Sunday morning, 8 a.m., dressed and ready to go. And we had tried to take him to church a couple of years prior, and it was a train wreck.
Oh, yeah.
But God was in this, and he was leading the way. And the moment we walked in the doors, we felt like we were home.
Oh, so he got up and got dressed and talked y'all into taking him. He didn't go with his friend.
No.
The friend just had invited him. The whole family went.
Yeah, and
both our son and daughter were like, we're going to church. These are the hours. This is the youth program.
And it was all based on their friend, not they hadn't been to the youth program at all.
They hadn't, and when they were on spring break with my dad and stepmom, they actually picked out a church. Got online, picked out a church because they always went to church with them when they went down south. And found a church that was similar and got us plugged in.
Wow,
that is cool.
That's amazing. That's so powerful. I love this story.
Yep.
And now no debt, house or anything. What's this house worth?
Well, according to Zillow and the current market, it's around $500,000.
Wow.
It's crazy.
And it's paid for.
It is.
It's yours. How does that feel?
It's awesome.
Amazing. Our neighbors directly across the street just paid theirs.
Yes.
Wow.
And so we come out and cheer each other on.
I love it.
That's awesome. Well, what's the secret? What's the one takeaway that you're like, you got to do this if you're going to get here?
I think the biggest thing is really doing it together and getting God involved in it.
That's good.
Yep.
And just being obedient.
Yeah.
And being determined.
Yeah.
And not giving up when it gets hard, because it does get hard.
Yeah. It gets hard, and it's so worth it. Look at you guys now.
It is.
On this side of it.
It is. There's a peace and a contentment that is undescribable.
How's this affected your marriage?
It's totally brought us back together.
Yeah.
We're doing things as a couple, doing things as a family now. It's awesome.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
It's been amazing.
You guys are impressive.
Yes,
I
you
love
are.
it. Man, what a 3-year journey.
Powerful
Boom,
testimony,
like a bomb was dropped on the place. It's not even the same people living in that house.
No.
It's completely changed. Very, very cool. Very cool. And I see our own Kim Little sitting out here, so you're plugged into the official Baby Steps community?
Oh, absolutely.
She's
very
a huge
active.
Okay, so you're a big deal in that community then, huh?
Well, I think I am.
Yeah. Kim, if Kim's sitting here, you're a big deal. Because there's 200,000, 300,000 people in there.
Yes.
So if she came out here, then you're a big deal. That's fun.
I love Kim.
That's cool. All right, 365,000. Oh, get the kids in. What are their names and ages?
Bill is 17. And our daughter Olivia is 14.
All right, 365,000 paid off in 37 months, making 280 to 450, killing it on the income too. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free! Yeah! Woo-hoo-hoo! Man, I love that story.
That is cool. That is really cool.
This is The Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Romans 5:4-5. Patience produces character, and character produces hope, and this hope will never disappoint us. Thomas Edison said, what a man's mind can create, man's character should control. Christy Wright, Ramsey Personality #1 best-selling author, and is my co-host today, Ramsey Personality. Deanna is with us in Jacksonville, Florida. Hi, Deanna. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thank you, sir. I'm actually a truck driver. I'm 49. My husband will be 60 in a couple of months. He was my co-driver, but he went out on medical issues 2 years ago and has been deemed totally disabled. We were fortunate enough to have a long-term disability, but we have to fight for that each month for him to get that check. But he is getting his $1,200 a month Social Security disability, and I did and I make $837 a week bring home, and I am on salary, and that is after all the insurances and life insurance comes out of my check. All that comes out ahead of that number.
Okay.
So my husband is not on board with me downsizing all the credit and getting rid of the cards. I've been discovered you about a month ago, and I had a conversation with him this morning. His mainly focus is his everyday. I'm only home 6 times a year, so I don't get to go home. He's at the house, and he mainly focuses on him and what he's feeling. And we also have 2 joint accounts. His check goes into his account. The rest of the stuff goes into my account, and I pay the majority of the bills. And his check takes care of his medications and his food and all that kind of thing.
So you're over the road?
Yes. And okay. I'm in a job that I like. They take care of us. They took care of my husband when he had a problem. They worked everything out and helped us get his long-term disability initiated. So he's getting SSI and long-term disability while he meets the quote-unquote criteria.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You guys are hard-working people.
Thank you. I'm fortunate to have my brother as my co-driver now. So, but my credit card debt is $20,077. We've got a $7,600 motorcycle, but my husband really can't drive anymore, but we still owe the debt on. And if I turn that back in, I would owe $1,600 on it to the credit union just to get rid of it. I did check on that. And we, because I married a widower, we have been constantly paying off stuff from his late wife's situation. She died of medical issues. It was probably 10 or 12 years ago.
Yeah.
Because we were married for 8. And we still are paying on a truck that he thought that they paid for that they didn't.
All right, let's pull up here for a second. Christy?
Yeah. The first thing that stands out to me is the fact that y'all are operating in separate lanes. I know there's a lot of variables, there's a lot of debts, there's a lot of bills, you got checks coming from different places, but the fact that y'all have separate accounts and you are responsible for these things and he's responsible for these things, that's a piece of it that's influencing how you view your approach to money more than you realize. It's not just the account that the money sits in, it's the way that you approach it. And so putting your money together into one joint account where all the income goes in, and then you guys sit down and do a budget maybe for the first time together. So starting these conversations and putting money all in the same place will give you something different to work from. Whereas right now when it's like, well, this is mine and this is yours, it almost implicitly.
You all have, but when he came off the road, the thing that you had in common was gone. He sits at home. You're not home ever.
Yeah.
And he has a set of problems and a set of money. You have a set of problems and a set of money, and they're completely separated, as if you aren't married, is what you described.
So even when you talk to him about being on board with the plan, the framework that you're operating in isn't even conducive to that plan, I guess is what I'm saying. So I'm not saying he'll be super excited about the plan if you were to combine your accounts, but I think that's an important first step.
You're like the ideal roommate. You're never there.
Well, we're very fortunate to find each other, and we wouldn't trade each other for anybody else.
I'm not suggesting you divorce. I'm telling you that on a practical level, your day-to-day lives are so separated that it's very difficult for you all to have a common goal. And so what you need to do is step back from this and set a common goal for the two of you. And the common goal would include you being taken care of and him being taken care of. So he's got this, he's dealing with the emotions of not being able to work, and he was a hard-working dude, and he's not able to do that now, and that's emotional for a guy. It's emotional for most people.
Very.
And then he's looking at a bike over here he can't ride anymore, and you come home from the road and go, your best idea is sell his bike, and that's not going to fly real good, and I'm sure it was not a good conversation. So, but the reason for that I know that the reason you're not wrong to tell him to sell the bike. The bike needs to go. I agree. But the point is that he's got this set of needs and wants over here, and you've got a completely different set. So you need to dial back from that, and you guys need to get on the phone, get on the Zoom call, get back in town, and reset and say, okay, you're 65. When you're 75, and I am 59, where are we going to be? Where do we want to be? What do we want our lives to look like? Are we still going to be operating the way we're operating now with careers, with you gone all the time at 59? Is that what you want to do? It's not a bad thing. You just have to decide to do that on purpose. And where do we want to be with our money? And then what is the steps that we need to take with our money to cause that future out there to occur?
Well, and I think you bring up a good point, because with her husband going out on disability, and I don't know how recently that happened, but the effects of that you're still dealing with. And so I wonder, when you start to have a conversation about a common goal, even asking him some questions like, in this transition, what is something he could get excited about? And I don't know what that is. How he spends his time? Is there something he could do? A hobby? Something that within his abilities in this new reality that he could get excited about, and that will then flow into the conversation about money and goals. But in this transition, I'm sure it's been incredibly hard. But when you start talking about values and dreams and the future, like you're saying, Dave, then you know what to do with the money. But to zoom out a little bit, because you're right, they're running in completely separate lanes, and you got to come together on what that desired future looks like. What is something you're both looking forward to and working toward, and that brings you together to work toward it in your individual ways.
Yeah, and the thing is, the umbrella of what we want our lives to look like should be big enough to have both of you under it.
Yes. Yeah.
And you say, okay, Sharon, Dave, where do y'all want to be in 10 years? Okay, we're 60. When we're 70, where do we want to be? What do we want our lives to look like? Mm-hmm. Oh, crap, we need to make some moves to cause that to happen, to cause that desired future, as Henry Cloud calls it, that view of the future, that vision to occur. And if you don't make those moves, because what's happening now is you're making all your decisions based on what happens by Friday. And what happens by Friday for you is distinctly different than it is for him.
Yeah.
Very distinctly different. But what you want together for 10 years is probably a lot more similar than what happens by Friday.
Yeah.
But then you can both give up something that happens by Friday to get to the long-term goal.
That's a good point.
Because the motorcycle's not in the 10-year plan.
Yeah.
It's not.
But you can come up with a new 10-year plan.
Yeah. And something else could be in the 10-year plan.
Right. Something else that gets you excited.
Should be.
Yeah.
Should be in the 10-year plan. So that's the way to aim at it and get it going in that direction. Hang on. I'll tell you what we're going to do, Deanna. We're going to put you into Ramsey Plus for a year and let you and your husband work on that. That's something you can both do and discuss while you're on the road. Both of you can be taking the class at the same time, and that'll help give you a way to talk through these issues. Hold on. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus. Have a friend or family member that needs a daily dose of Ramsey advice in their life? Let them know about the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast. It's a quick hit of advice about life and money in under 10 minutes. Check out the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast wherever you listen to podcasts.